Hey everybody, MonkeyDKS here, and just recording an intro actually Saturday morning for this video. What you're about to see is the session 1 of the Far Reaches Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It's a homebrew campaign written by our own MumblesOfANerd, and today is the first day, and Lily is apparently going to try and attack my headphones. Hi. Yeah. It's a ton of fun. There are 7 players, which is the most I've ever played with, plus Mumbles as well. You'll see some familiar faces. We'll meet some new people, and about halfway through the video, maybe a little more, I actually remember to turn on the Discord stream kit so that you can actually see who's speaking with their character names. We all changed to character names in the Discord, so it'll be easier for people. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. And, Lily, stop it. Stop biting my headphones. You're so distracting. I love your face. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a ton of fun. It was actually a really, really fun session. Spoiler alert. Someone may or may not have died. You don't know. Anyway, enjoy. Here we go with session 1. Also, I need to change this thumbnail because it's pretty terrible. I don't like it. Bye.
But I think we can go ahead and probably get started.
Okay, I'm switching over.
Okay.
I guess I could allow insecure content. See if that works.
It is insecure.
Oh yeah, that would probably do it too. Because this is not an HTTPS URL. That is why.
Reload.
Yeah, you're direct connected to me.
Don't.
Okay, I don't see a very I don't see a whole lot of latency on your stream, Monkey, so I think we're good. And give me a thumbs up on the stream thing.
Does it use Flash Player?
I gave you a thumbs up before you asked for it, just for reference.
It uses WebGL though.
Alright. I just
Meta. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah, there's like a 5-second latency. That's perfectly okay.
For this game, absolutely. And if anybody needs me to scroll or zoom or anything, let me know.
Alright, will do. It seems like I'm gonna...
Okay, so we're almost back at the top of...
Yeah.
We're almost at 8 o'clock. So we will do our best to go ahead and get our... Do we all feel like we're ready to roll? As I clap,
Absolutely.
it's like Matthew Mercer. Like, I can't believe I picked that up. I'm gonna clap my hands whenever I'm ready to say this stuff, guys. Okay? Just like in kindergarten. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
All right.
I'm raising my hand, calling me, hurry.
Alright.
Yes, man. Seriously.
Oh, it didn't work for me. Oh well.
Let's do this.
Okay, so I would like to welcome everyone officially after about an hour technical delay on my end and still ongoing to the Far Reaches. This is completely a world of my design that I've managed to pluck out of my brain somehow, some way, and will attempt to put together a campaign that will take you all from level 3 to level 20. Ooh. That's the ultimate goal here. The Far Reaches is broken up into two parts, if you will, and that is the landmass of Aurelia and the islands of the Nine Sisters. Okay. What you know at this point is jack diddly nothing.
Nothing.
It's gonna be so much fun.
This is something I'm used to.
So what we're gonna do for the sake of expediency is leave everybody here in the big old chat at the table, so to speak. And one by one attempt to bring you into the story. Are we ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Does anyone want to volunteer to be my first victim?
I'll be first.
Okay. It's funny because you're actually top of my sheet.
That's because I gave you my stuff first.
That's also cheating.
He knows what he's doing.
All right. So, Leoric,
That's a good example.
if you will, on this beautiful, beautiful moon day, that we'll call it, in the month of, in my notes, that suddenly disappeared. Where are my notes? All right. In the month of Brightleaf, what are you doing? Where are you, and what are you doing?
What time of year is this?
It is autumn.
Autumn. Okay. So, on an autumn day, Leoric is probably roaming around the forest, making sure that campers and hunters have properly put out their fires. He is going around and assisting the fungi and the lichen, with the decomposing process. Autumn is his favorite time of the year, so because it encompasses the death of nature, getting ready for its rebirth. So he is having the time of his life, just going around the forest, taking care of it as he has done for several years.
Okay. So, as you peer up through the trees now in the forest, you can see the sun is just beginning to head towards the horizon, and it'll be dusk in probably another hour or so. Where are you going?
So I've got to pull up a map. So he has forsaken his home in lieu of living on the land. So he is roaming at the moment, and that he didn't scream just then, in case anybody was wondering. So he is probably headed up towards Mount Hote now, because with it getting close to winter, he will be spending most of his time in the caves there, and so he is probably working on setting up a shelter there in the evenings.
As you begin to make your way towards where you're going to make your shelter for the night, and usually you just hear the twittering of birds, small animals that run across the floor here of the forest, but you hear a very loud behind you, and again, and again. And your keen hearing has now let you know that someone is following you. What do you do?
I will look around and see if I can spot them.
Okay. You turn around, and as the day is getting darker and darker, but you turn around, and standing there is a woman. She's tall, taller than you even, in your furball form. She has a very severe face, dark eyes, dark hair, and a tall headdress that looks almost like something royalty would wear. To a more modern observer, you, of course, have never seen anything like it. What do you say?
What seems to be the trouble there, miss?
There's no trouble, Leoric. I've been watching you for quite a while, and I'll have to say, Very interesting.
Well,
Nice.
thank you, miss, but watching me is kind of creepy. I ain't seen you around, and I'm pretty good at spotting things.
I understand. Usually I'm very quiet, but to be honest, I'm in a bit of a hurry now, and I needed some way to get your attention.
All you gotta do is ask, ma'am.
I'll keep that in mind. My name is Freya, and I am not some woman wandering through the forest. I'm a goddess.
How do you spell Freya?
Freya. And I've been watching you for a while now, Leoric. Where I come from is a place we call the Far Reaches. And the Far Reaches is sick, broken in a way. There's a great evil there, and I'm tasked now with finding people who will help me, who will help me stop this evil from spreading across the land that I love. I feel like you, Leoric, from what I've watched, understand this. You who have lost the thing you care most about. And that is what the Far Reaches is to me. The thing I care most about. And I was wondering if maybe I could convince you to help me save it.
Well, of course, ma'am. I'd be more than happy to help you. But if I leave, who's going to take care of the forest?
I figured you might ask that, and I have a solution in mind. So you watch as Freya reaches into a small pocket on the clothes that she's wearing, and she pulls out of it a very tiny deer-like carving, if you will. To your eyes, it looks wooden in nature, as if someone has taken some fallen lumber from somewhere and has whittled and carved it to make it look this way, like this small animal. And she holds it out in her palm out in front of you to let you see, and then places it on the ground. And she mutters a few words quietly to herself and waves her hands around it. And you watch this small wooden piece of wood grow and grow and grow until it is twice as tall as you and twice as long as any creature you've seen in the forest. And the wood has now been replaced by this very intricate weaving of branches and leaves and vines, and this creature now is huge and alive before your very eyes. And she lets you look at the creature for a moment as she looks at it too, and it stares down at you, and she looks back, and she says, "This is one of my guardians. He loves the forest as you do. His home is the forest in the far reaches. But I've brought him here just for you, because he'll only take commands from you now. Tell this creature what it is you want done, and he will do it in your absence." And you see this creature now fall down onto one knee as it brings its head down to what would be a very convenient petting level for you, but it's about 20 feet away. They stood off a little bit from you to gauge you. But now here's this creature bent over, a self-proclaimed goddess next to it. What do you do?
I'm going to slowly approach the creature
Mm-hmm.
and using my Furbolg ability to communicate with animals. just do the thing. Here, I didn't. I'm trying to post it so everybody else can read it too. I'm gonna step closer to it with my left hand out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, you beautiful creature, you. Well, if you are here to do what she says, I guess we got some words to have. Now, I know you can understand me in the slightest of bits. I don't know how intelligent you really are. Probably more so than myself. But if you don't mind, just keeping a watchful eye on this here forest and making sure nobody destroys it in my absence, I'd be greatly appreciative.
You see this creature now as it's watched you as you've approached, and you get the feeling by looking at its eyes that it has clearly understood what you've asked of it. And very slowly it reaches over just with the tip of its nose and nuzzles you on the chest, bows its head very respectfully, and stands up and begins to walk back into the forest in the way that you had came earlier in the day, putting out fires and taking care of the forest as you do daily. You are now stood there, just you and Freya. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Well, Miss Freya, if all as you say, I guess we better get on going, or else things are going to be a little bit too worse for me to take care of.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Leoric. But before I send you where you go, I have one last gift. And so you watch Freya take her hand and extend it out, and she touches the shield that you carry. What looks like a shield, but to you, you know it's the door of the home you used to live in. And you watch its wooden form shine brightly green, and out of it grow these sort of green tendrils and this arcane energy that you're very unsure of and makes you unwary, but it spreads across the entire shield and even comes and touches your hand and begins to go up your arm. And with that, your shield now makes you resistant to poison and necrotic damage. And upon completing this little bit of enchantment, Freya snaps her fingers, and your world is black. And you are gone from the only place you've ever known. Who is next?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be third.
I'll go fourth. Mine's gonna be
like
fun.
See, now people are lining up.
I know, right?
I'll go when I go.
Alright, so Monkey, you are second. Will you say the first name of your character for me?
It is Kaelin.
Kaelin?
Kaelin.
Okay. All right.
And I apologize if this voice is terrible. Carry on.
Okay. All right. So, Kaelin, it is an autumn day in the middle of the week. What's Kaelin doing?
Kaelin is just sitting on a log. He's got his hood up over his head. He's got a stick in his hand, and he's just sort of poking at the ground, thinking about getting ready to start a campfire, perhaps. Just out in the middle of the woods, surrounded by nature, away from everyone and everything.
Okay. How did you get where you are? What
Yeah.
made you seek this place out?
So it was more I didn't really go to the place specifically so much as I was just trying to get away from places, and this is where I currently ended up.
So, Kaelin, as you sit here sort of drawing in the dirt, contemplating whether or not you're going to start a campfire and give yourself some light and warmth for the night, you hear a bird overhead. This screeching of a hawk or falcon. You're not sure which because they're hard to tell apart. And you look up at the sound of this and you see this bird circle overhead for a minute, 2, 3, and it appears to be looking directly at you, circling overhead. What do you do?
I look back at it.
Did you say look at it?
Yeah, I just look back at it. Yeah. I don't necessarily say anything. Just watching it.
As it notices you look at it, it appears, even from the distance that it's overhead, you get the feeling something that you can feel in your head, almost like it's staring back at you. And it cries out again. Except now it's circling, spiraling down, getting closer to where maybe it's only 20 or 30 feet above your head now. What do you do?
Well, are you coming down, or are you just going to stay up there and circle?
With that, you watch the bird, and it's gone. And then you hear a sound, a thump, across from you, seated on a small rock. And there's a woman there. She's tall, much taller than you, and very grim and severe looking in the face. She has dark eyes and dark hair and a tall headdress that you recognize as being something that someone of nobility and worth would wear. She's now seated directly across from you, this bird mysteriously gone. And she says, "Hello, Kaelin. Beautiful evening, isn't it?"
It'll do.
I've had my eye on you for a while. You're quite an interesting elf, if I do say so. No offense, of course.
I've had plenty of offense in my life. It's fine.
You seem like you carry a great burden for someone of your birth, for someone of your position and standing.
I don't have a
Have you
position
always-
anymore.
Have you always been that way?
I am what I am now. The past matters not.
It seems that what you are now is much different than what you were just a little while ago. If what I've seen you can do is any indication of your potential.
Putting it mildly, but potential is not the word I would use. Curse, perhaps.
You cursed might be the right word in your case, although I believe what you have now is a great privilege. I would say it gives you a lot of potential.
I've seen
And,
privilege in my life, and this isn't quite what I would call it.
Wow. If you'd allow me, I'd love to extend you an opportunity to reach your potential, to make the ancestors that your people so desperately try to please actually proud.
I I long ago gave up trying to make the ancestors proud. They won't ever be proud of me. I just want to be left alone.
What if I gave you a chance to be proud of yourself? Of something you can do?
What could I do?
Well, for starters, you could save a lot of lives. A lot of innocent lives. Lives that, let's say, did not have the curse of your birth and station.
My birth and station no longer matters. I think you have the wrong man, Elf. What am I? Elf.
No, I believe I have the right one. To be honest, I was hesitant at first to seek your assistance in this matter.
Most people have been.
But with your newfound abilities, I believe we can reach an agreement that is mutually beneficial.
Abilities.
You see,
I don't even know how to use them yet. I don't even know what I can do.
then let me take you to a place where you can learn. To people who will teach you. Let me give you what I believe you've always wanted, which is as far away from here as you can get. Away from the prying eyes of parents who you believe love your siblings more. Away from the prying eyes of ancestors whom you believe you can never please. And far away from the prying eyes of the lowly people who wish they were in your place. Would that interest you?
I wouldn't call it what I believe, but now you have my interest.
Okay. I figured maybe we'd get there eventually. I come from a place called the Far Reaches. And the Far Reaches is sick. It is infested by a disease that spreads across the land, overtaking everything it touches. And the Far Reaches is what matters most to me. Its lands, its people, what it used to be, and what it could be. I want your help to stop the greatest threat you will have ever seen, and the strongest enemy you will ever face. And if you help me with this, not only will I get you away for now, but when you return, you'll have everything in this world that you wish you always did.
Sounds too good to be true, but I'm not much of a fighter.
We'll see how much of a fighter we can make you. But honestly, there's worth in people who aren't fighters.
And I have your word that you won't just send me back here if I don't want to go?
Yes.
Fine.
Good. Before you go, I do have a gift. And you watch as Freya sort of reaches back behind her and pulls out something.
I put my hand on my quarterstaff.
Okay. She does it slowly, making eye contact with you the whole time. And she pulls out what would appear to be a small, ordinary bag. And she takes it out. It's got a strap on it. And she tosses it over to you. And when she does, she says, "Open it and put your hand in it."
I pause for a moment. And then I slowly reach down. Pick it up by the strap. Measure the weight a little bit. And I slowly open it just a crack and look in.
Okay. It looks dark in the bag.
I look back at her, shrug my shoulders, open it up the rest of the way, and stick my hand in.
All right. Upon sticking your hand in, you expect just... It seems very ordinary, right? You open a bag, you put your hand in, you hit the bottom, you feel around. But as you reach into this bag, you realize it's not just your hand that's in the bag now. It's your arm up to your elbow that has managed to reach in. And it seems that the farther that you reach in, there's a lot more space in there. But as you move and feel around, you feel something hard and wooden in make. And you grasp it. What do you do?
I'll pull it out.
And you pull it out, and it is the most intricate wooden staff you've ever seen. And affixed to the top is a brass bird, much like the one you saw overhead. You have now gained a bag of holding and a very fancy staff.
Ooh.
And you sit there now with this very intricately carved staff and your newfound bag. And you look across, and Freya's sitting there, a smile just at the beginning to appear at the corner of her mouth. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I can't promise that I'll fight for you. But anything you can do to get me out of here, well, that's all I need.
Well then, I have everything you need. And with that, Freya snaps, and your world goes black, and you are no longer in the only home you've ever known. All right, who's up third?
Nicely done, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That would be me. Yes. Very nice job.
Who is me? I'm learning voices.
Brokebutt, sorry.
Okay. Cool deal. And you... If you'll go ahead and give me the pronunciation of your character name, please.
Falk-P'ter.
You didn't ask me that.
Say it again, you cut out.
Wallashan Falk-P'ter.
Okay, Wallashan.
Yep.
We'll see how good we do with that. Alright, so, Wallashan. It is an autumn day, middle of the week. The sun has just begun to peek over the horizon, and it's getting brighter and brighter. It's early in the morning, but it is daylight. What are you doing?
Wallashan has just the night before he had just
You can say
complete.
hi.
I just completed a job as a rogue and decided to enjoy a night at the local pub to celebrate.
Okay.
After an adventurous night at the pub, I stumble out, was kicked out because it's now daybreak, and have been there all night. And so I find a nearby log just outside the pub, and I have a seat because I am too drunk to do anything else.
Okay. So you stumble out here and you find your seat in the morning after a full night bender. And you've sat down. And whenever you sat down, it was empty where you were sitting. There was no one there. Everyone has, for the most part, gone back home after their night of drinking and merriment. And then something brushes your shoulder. And sort of, you see a long, singular finger reach out, touch you, and begin to push you over. And as you begin to glance beside you, you see this tall, very severe-looking woman with dark eyes and dark hair and a tall headdress. A headdress that you would realize is reserved only for people with a lot of money or who would like you to think they have a lot of money. And she reaches out with a single finger, puts it on your arm, and pushes you away. And she looks at you and goes, "You smell horrendous. What have you done to yourself?"
Well, I have had a very enjoyable night.
That
It
how
is.
you enjoy yourself?
I celebrated my night away, and I enjoy lots of things. Beautiful ladies like yourself, or a night out at the pub, or a good duel.
Oh, my dear, you've never met a woman like me. And you watch as this woman claps her hands together, and you're no longer seated outside the tavern where you had been drinking. You're on the deck of a ship, a sailing ship. It just, all you see is ocean, the blue horizon in the distance. It's a calm day. The sails are full of wind. But as you look around, there's no crew on board. There's no one at the wheel steering. You're just sailing towards the horizon. The woman who was sitting on the bench is now standing right next to you. And she brushes your shoulder with her hand, almost like you would do if someone was wiping dirt off of it. And you feel your night's drinking and the effects of it leave you. And you are now completely, and almost embarrassingly so, very sober now. What do you do?
Who are you, and what has happened? Where am I at? I do not sell, but I am on a boat.
Yes, I figured this would be a good way to get your attention now. I've seen you from time to time, and my name is Rhea, and I'm a goddess
Whoop, my name is.
in a place called
my
the
name
Far
is.
Reaches. And I have a proposition for you, if you'll hear me out.
Deshaun. What do you propose?
Yes. I am going around and finding people who I believe can help me cure the blight that has infested my lands, and in many ways has forced me from it. I understand that your past is a bit of a checkered one, but you show remarkable instincts and potential. You're loyal to a fault, driven like an arrow. But I believe that we can help each other. You come with me as a soldier, a fighter, in the far reaches, and I will help you find the one person you've never been able to find before.
I am a man who follows orders from no one, unless of course there is some financial compensation.
I think you'll find the rewards you'll gain for your service are quite generous, more so than you would expect. Let me show you. And you watch as Freya reaches into the cloak that she's wearing and pulls from it a sword. Small, the size of a short sword, but you see that the end of it is broken off. But it's not the broken off end of this short sword that catches your eye. No, it's farther down on the hilt. And you see a crest and a birthstone. The birthstone of your father in the hilt. And the sword that was not recovered. What do you say?
Have you found the sword that I have searched for so long? It was lost long ago.
Nothing is truly lost if you have enough time to look for it, and seeing as how I'm immortal, I have all the time I've ever needed. I would be willing to give you this as a down payment for your cooperation in our arrangement. Sure, there will be more things to come, but I figured this would be enough to get you there. And she sort of waves her hands, and the sword that she was holding, your father's sword, disappears from her hands and reappears in yours. And she looks at you and she says, just squeeze the hilt just a little bit. And as you do, you just gently squeeze the hilt, and this broken sword jumps to full length, the size a long sword would be, and around it are these growing bright red and orange flames that rage across the metal of the blade as you wield it. What do you do? Or what do you say?
I say absolutely nothing. I just look at her with a sense of awe and serenity and nod.
Yes, I believe the greatest compliment one could find in your company is your silence, so that will do. And you watch Freya snap, and your world goes black. You disappear off the ship, and you are gone from the only world you've ever known.
Pineapple pizza is the best kind of pizza.
Next.
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Thank you, Mumbles. Good job.
Madam. All right, so Jolin, it is midday, or so you would think. It seems bright to also be such a rainy day. There's a steady downpour where you are, and like I said, you're not entirely sure exactly what time it is, but you've been where you are for a little while as it rained. Where are you?
I would say I would be on a path heading to another town, heading to another bounty, just to keep my mind. I seem to have better days when I'm completing tasks rather than letting my mind just wander.
So you're on this trek, this small journey of yours, and it seems you make these trips a lot, always bouncing from place to place, city to city, and within that city, tavern to tavern. Not because you ever feel the need to get drunk, and very rarely because you ever feel the need to be merry, but simply because there's something deep down inside you that never wants to be in one place too long, never wants the attention of eyes on themselves for too long. You wander sometimes with purpose and sometimes others aimlessly, it would seem. But I ask now, as you're walking to this next town and the rain is pelting you, how does the rain make you feel?
Seems to give me a sense of just. I feel like I'm.
I think I lost y'all there for a second.
No, I lost him. I lost him too. Meta?
You still there, Meta?
Nope.
Temporary loss, Meta. We're going to reconnect.
Completely cut out there. I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I did.
Welcome back.
You are okay.
It's the thing. So, I was trying to say that the rain seems to help wash away some of my problems, but it doesn't take away the pain that I've felt. It seems to be calming, but not enough to get me away.
Yeah. And that's understandable considering the way you felt lately. That constant nagging in the back of your mind that you feel as if now you will only ever wander aimlessly from this point. But it's right at this time, as you come over top a hill and begin to see your next town that you're going to visit, the next bounty you'll seek, that the rain stops where you are. Not everywhere, as you'll notice. Just in a small circle around you, it's bright. You can see the sun. And no rain falls. It's weird. You take a step backwards, and the rain hits you again. You step back forwards, and it's bright and sunny. You step backwards one more time just to make sure, and you close, you shut it out, and you cover your face with your hands, thinking it's some sort of strange mirage, like you finally just lost it. And yet when you uncover and you step back in to the bright light, the sunlight, there's a woman standing there. She's tall, taller than you. She has a very severe face, dark eyes, dark hair, and a very peculiar looking headdress to you, one you've never seen before and are not quite sure what would possess someone to wear something so obvious and attention-seeking on themselves. What do you do?
I'm sorry, but if you're... I don't know what you're looking for, but if you're hoping to end my pain, you're not the first one. You certainly won't be the last at this point. I don't know what kind of magic this is, but all I need to know is who are you and what are you doing here?
Oh, Jolin, always ready for a fight. But yes, indeed, introductions are in order. My name is Freya, and I am a goddess. A goddess of a place called the Far Reaches. And I'm interested in a mutually beneficial agreement, if you're so inclined to hear me out.
Well, it seems I don't necessarily have a choice in the matter. I bet you've been following me for quite a while. I've always sensed something, but couldn't pinpoint it.
Oh, I won't say for how long I may have watched you, but I will tell you I'm very intrigued by your skill set. I'm also interested in giving you something. Something worth far more than the meager silver pieces you managed to earn chasing down bounties. Something that will give you purpose. Are you interested?
Yes.
Good. Where I'm from, a certain blight, we'll say, has consumed my land. It's infested every corner of it, and I want this infestation gone. And I'm looking for exceptionally talented individuals to help. And I've noticed that, and please forgive me for saying, you're just wandering around with nothing to do.
Well, I was created with a purpose to fight. And that's all I've ever known. But I've always felt a nagging feeling that maybe there is something more.
Yes. I believe I can give you that purpose again. You were built for war. No one can deny that, not even you. And I believe you are just the type of person I need. But of course, to prove to you that I'm honest and forthright, I have a couple gifts for you. And you watch as Brea reaches into her cloak and she pulls out 2 bags. And she empties the contents of one of the bags into her hands. And it's a couple of small carved stones. And you've never seen them before, but the way that they're carved, the carvings on them, seem arcane in their origin. You can tell by looking from your history, living and fighting and traveling in a place such as Eberron, that they're definitely magical. And she reaches out to hand them to you, and you take them in your hand. Not sure what they are, but more intrigued by what is in her other hand, the bag she holds there, because she sort of gently tosses it in her hand, and you hear the metal clattering and clattering. What do you say?
I'm guessing that is what you're going to pay me with?
Indeed, it's always about the money, isn't it? For you. And she waits for you to she gestures to you and you extend your other hand, the one not holding the stones, and she takes the bag and she dumps it out. And in the bag are 20 platinum pieces. And they are now yours. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Point me in the right direction, ma'am.
I can definitely do that. And with that, Freya snaps her fingers. Your vision goes black. And you are gone from the place where you have toiled and looked and wandered. And you feel very relieved.
Excellent, by the way. Excellent. Sorry about that being cut out. Blame that on mobile. It didn't do that until I started talking. Why?
It is all good, my friend. Who is next?
I'd be happy to go.
Say name.
Unless there was a crane.
Okay. Crane. Alright. Make sure you're on my list. Alright. Crane. It is an autumn day, and it is late in the evening. The sun has set. It is very dark. Dark enough that you know it is well past the time that anything but fine drinking establishments would be open, or certain other illicit businesses. Where are you at, and what are you doing?
Alright. Crane is riding his horse in a barren valley under the shroud of a recently fallen darkness. Having left an exploratory convoy for this new land after a fight with a former associate. There is a ringing in his ears, his right hand sears with a pain from a cutlass stab wound, and his eyes are closing slowly, turning the dark grayness of the terrain before him into a total black void on and off, with each blink lasting for longer durations than the prior one. He stops his horse, saying, "Walker, hold up, bud, we've got to rest." And, as his horse heeds his command, Crane blinks again before he slides off the saddle, falling toward the ground.
Okay. So, as you fall to the ground, hurt, dazed, exhausted, okay? Not exactly sure what comes next. You're now sitting there on the ground, and you feel this wave of warmth and comfort, and somehow strangely you now feel like you're home, that feeling that home has. And the ringing in your ears has stopped, and the fog you felt in your mind begins to clear, and you feel much better. But as your vision fully comes back, there's something you didn't see before. Not so much something as someone, as there's now a woman standing over you, hunched at this point, with her hand placed gently on your head, saying something under her breath as you begin to feel better. She's very tall, probably the tallest woman you've ever seen, and she has a very severe face with dark eyes and dark hair and a tall headdress. And she's looking down at you now. What do you do?
Alright. I back up, put my hand on my revolver on my left. say hello.
Hello, Crane. Since I believe that's what you'd like me to call you. I don't mean you any harm, so I don't think you'll have to use what's on your hip. After all, I think we'll be good friends. And she takes her hand off of your head, having completed the bit of arcane healing she's performed upon you, and takes a couple steps back to make you feel a little more comfortable. And she looks at you again, curiously. What do you do?
I keep my hand near the revolver, but I then ask, who are you? And
I'm glad
why
you asked.
are you here?
My name is Freya, and I'm a goddess. A goddess in a place called the Far Reaches. And I've been looking for someone just like you for quite a while now. Someone talented in ways that I need. Because my land is very sick. And this sickness needs eradicated. Violently, perhaps. And I think you are just the person who can help me with that. And maybe we can reach some sort of agreement for your help?
Perhaps. What sort of sickness and what's in it for me?
Well, the sickness, quite simply, is greed. There's a man there, Gershon, they call him. And let's say he feels the need to take everything for himself, including the people who I care about and the land that I hold dear. Simply put, I need him and those loyal to him gone for good. As for what's in it for you, let me show you. And Freya then claps her hands together, and the pistol that you had your hand on is gone. Totally gone. Vanished. You just feel your hand slip down off your hip where it had previously been holding on to it. And, however, in Freya's hands now are easily the most beautiful set of firearms that you have ever seen. 2 6-shooters. Their barrels glistening almost like they were gold. The grip a pearl white. And yet, as you look at it, and knowing what you know and the abilities that you have, you realize that in those revolvers is something a little special. More special than a firearm you've ever seen. Maybe not arcane in nature, but definitely not your run-of-the-mill 6-shooter. And she holds them out in front of her. For you. What do you do?
I take the chance to reach out toward the revolvers, saying, I think I know what you, the sort of feelings that you have. Let me, may I take these?
She nods her head, and she holds her hands out, and allows you to take the pistols from her hands.
I grab the pistols, and then I begin to pause for a moment and think, asking, how do I know you are who you say you are?
It's a good question. I think there's really only one way that I can show you. And Freya snaps her fingers, and your vision goes completely black. And you don't know where you are, but you do know that you are gone from the only world that you've ever known. You also now have 2 revolvers with unknown abilities that will have to be researched. And I've added those for you.
Alright.
So, who is next?
Tweebs, your turn. Go. Go.
Do it.
I'm here. I forgot that I was muted.
That will not be the last time.
Yeah, it happens. Anyway.
To be fair, the first time I said Tweebs, I was also muted.
Yeah, and I'm also out of it. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's been a long week.
That is perfectly understandable. Tweebs, if you will give me the pronunciation of your character's name, please.
Merinos.
Merinos. Alright. Merinos, it is the afternoon. Let's say for to be clear, let's say between 4:30 and 5 o'clock on an autumn day. Where are you at and what are you doing?
Probably on a boat. Because that's what Merinos has been doing lately. Just doing like freelance stuff. I'll say in this situation, he's like heading back to mainland and he's by himself on a boat. Somehow he made it there. Anyway. He's by himself on a little rowboat thing. Kind of small sailing ship-esque. Yeah. Just making it to land for the evening.
You hear a voice behind you. A woman's voice.
Very startled. Turn around. Almost flip the boat with the oar in hand. And I'm gonna do like one of those swinging actions with the oar. Like the oar is in my hand and I turn around really quickly and it kind of sweeps behind me, you know?
Okay. So as you do this and you go, you're clearly very startled and you go to sweep around, having been out to sea for what is a while now. You swing back, and as you do, out of the corner of your eye, you catch a sight of a woman. And from what you can see, a very tall woman, although you can make out very little else at this point before you've turned all the way around. However, as you go to swing the oar, it stops. Dead stop.
Merinos scared. He's gonna try. One second, let me look around. I wanted to do channel divinity and do the thick cloud of fog, the marine layer.
Okay.
And just be like, he's probably thinking in his head like, I need to get out of here right now. I need to go. So he does that and then he tries to paddle away.
All right. So there's this thick fog that begins to gather around you as panic creeps into your mind. And then you hear a voice say, "Enough." And you're no longer on the boat. You're in a cave. It's lit by 2 torches, one to your right and one to your left. The cave is a small, intimate space. But what strikes you is, other than suddenly being underground, is that no passage seems to lead into or out of this cave. And seated across from you, on a rock, is the same woman from the boat. What do you say or do?
I'm just looking. I'm just gonna stand there and look. I got nothing to say. I'm just like, what is going on?
Merinos, It seems as if I've startled you. I certainly didn't intend to do that.
First off, who are you? Second off, what do you expect? I'm in a boat by myself.
Yes, sometimes people are weird to me. My name is Freya, and I am a goddess. A goddess in a place called the Far Reaches. And to be blunt, I need your help.
Why can't you just find someone in Far Reaches? This is my world, my thing.
Well, the Far Reaches is sick. Infested, if you will. And I need powerful people to help me with this. And to me, you seem like just the person I need.
Merinos is gonna quietly pray to Poseidon and say, what the heck is going on?
Ah, yes. He's a friend of mine. We know each other.
Am I getting response from Poseidon?
A single word forms in your mind. It's not spoken, but it's there. It's a thought that you can't shake. And it says, listen.
Merinos doesn't understand any of this, but since Poseidon kind of sounds like he's okay with it, he's just gonna chill and listen.
As you begin to focus your attention back, and Freya again repeats herself, and this time as she repeats what she's told you, what she needs, that she's interested in you, another word forms in your mind. Follow. What do you say or do?
Head back. I'll be like, are you gonna follow me over there too?
My plan is to take you with me.
Wait, no, I was talking to Poseidon in my head.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay. We're gonna-
So many gods.
Another word. Yes. And you get this feeling washes over you, this sense of calm that you didn't have before, and this sense of fulfilling a greater purpose. That purpose that you've longed for, something bigger than yourself.
All right. Well, I think in Merinos' head at that point, since like his god is okay with it, he'll probably go and do the things.
Freya looks at you in a way that lets you know that the thoughts in your head and the words you said and the quick prayer you made were not as private as you thought. And she just gives you a wry smile.
I don't know. Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Merinos has not said anything in his head yet, but deep down he's like, I don't trust this lady. She came out of nowhere. Who is this? Anyway.
I know that you won't trust easily, but let me give you a token of goodwill. And appearing in your hand that wasn't there before is a blade, a long blade, and it is about the length of your normal longsword that you carry. However, it is encrusted in barnacles and small, what look like tentacles coming out of it. And as you hold this sword, you feel powerful. Truly, truly powerful. And like, this sword, in a way, allows you to control your own destiny and links you with the sea no matter where you'll go.
Can I roll Arcana? As like, Merinos is like, what is this? And like, with my -1 in intelligence, can I like think about it and see if I know exactly where this is or what it does? Or is that a no for now? No, can't do it.
Hold on just 1 second.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to roll, because I can.
That was an aside to someone IRL he's talking to now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yes, you may roll an Arcana check.
Cool. With my -1. Oh, 14.
14.
Did it show up? Because I think I tried to do the Beyond.
I did not see it.
So every time you open Foundry, you have to go up into your toolbar and click on the Beyond 20 extension. Literally just click it once, so it pops down, and then that's it. Then the rolls should connect.
Oh dang, your Chrome is freezing on me, so that's fun. Well.
But you rolled a 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've heard of this kind of sword before, and your knowledge of arcane tradition and your own abilities tells you that the sword is indeed enchanted in some way, and yet is also, at this stage, completely beyond your understanding of how it works and what magic lies within it.
Fantastic. Out of character, in Tisha's head, this feels like it's just a longsword that's kind of rusted. It has barnacles on it, and like there's like these weird tentacles that are coming out and moving. Anyway,
I can tell you that you now find yourself in possession of a crake blade.
Oh, crake blade. Wait, I'm guessing only Tisha knows this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't do anything. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that, roommate walked in. But, anyway. What is I'm guessing. Sorry, what's the next step? What would that be?
The next step?
I'm saying, like, after the sword, is there anything else?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just your parting remarks.
He doesn't say anything. He's a quiet boy.
Mm-hmm. And with that, the quiet boy hears a snap and is gone from the only world he's ever known.
I'm sensing a theme here.
You think? Who is next?
I can go.
Who said? I heard two voices.
Vix.
Okay. Fix. All right, Vix, it is midday on an autumn day. Where are you at and what are you doing?
I am in the library studying, as towards the afternoon, that's where I finally find time to escape from my regular duties as a courtier. I tend to like to study before I go to sleep, as it strangely calms my brain.
All right. So as you go to this place to study and relax, you notice a few other people there. They're regulars, a lot like you are in places like this, where you can be sort of alone and quiet with your own thoughts. And as you look over beside you, where there was no one there before, there is now a very serious-looking, tall woman standing next to you. Dark hair, dark eyes, and a tall headdress that you've only seen very, very pretentious negotiators attempt to wear. What do you say or do?
What makes someone like you with this headdress on show up at a place like this?
Well, I was looking for you, of course.
For what reason? This isn't a trick, is it?
Certainly not. I am in need of certain talented individuals. People who both know how to fight with the pen and the sword, so to speak. And you have caught my attention.
And how would you know this?
Well, to be honest, I've been following you around a bit, seeing what you do and how you do it.
For a trick or for a purpose?
Oh, very much for a purpose. My name is Freya, and I'm a goddess. A goddess of a place called the Far Reaches. And the Far Reaches has been overrun, we'll say, with evil and greed. And I need certain talented people to help me get rid of that. Maybe we could negotiate a deal.
Evil and greed are definitely two things I don't like. You've perked my ears with this. What do you mean by this?
There's a man there by the name of Gershon. He's as evil as they come. He's come in and he's taken over my home. He's killed innocent people, imprisoned others. He is as wicked as they come, my dear. Just the type of person you hate.
That is true. I hate all things evil. And he has hurt you?
Very much so. In ways I'm afraid you can't possibly imagine.
Even with a mind like mine?
Yes, even with a mind like yours.
You have my attention. It breaks my heart to hear you say such things. And what is it that you need my help with?
It's very simple. There will be a war there soon. And I need people to fight it and to lead it. And I believe you can do both.
You view me as a leader?
In time, yes. I believe you have what it takes.
Even though... Do you know of my past?
There is very, very little that is still mystery to me. So to answer your question bluntly, yes. Are you interested in helping me?
I look at you and I search your eyes because that's where I think that people can lie the most in. I'm slowly to gain trust in you, and my eyes start to calm in hopes that you'll notice as a sign of maybe it's a yes.
That's when you see Freya reach into her cloak and pull out what looks like a carved cat's head made of stone with gemstones inlaid in its eyes. And she takes this out, and from your studies and knowledge, you recognize this. It's called a luck stone. And she takes it, and she waves her hand, and it disappears from her hand and ends up in your pocket.
Where did you...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Where did you find such things with these gemstones as eyes?
I have my ways. After all, I am a goddess.
I stare at it.
Okay. And you like I said, you recognize this and you know what it is and how powerful it can be in the right situations. And with that, you have gained a luck stone, which gives you a it can be used twice a day and gives you a +1 bonus to your ability checks and saving throws. So you have this stone now, and you're looking at it. Freya's still in front of you. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Are you sure you trust me with this?
Yes, I would trust no one else with it. And with that, you hear Freya snap, and your vision goes completely black, and you disappear from the only world you've ever known.
Thanks.
Alright, so last but not least, I believe we have Dark.
Me. Yeah.
Pronunciation of your character's name, please.
Weslie Grimbaldus.
Alright, Weslie. So, Weslie, it is high noon on an autumn day. Cool, but not cold. A gentle breeze rolling through. Where are you? And what are you doing?
I am in the forest, resting among the shade. I have just eaten a meal. I am currently just lying on my back, trying to stay out of the sun, just enjoying the cool shadow of the tree, closing my eyes, clasping my hands together, just saying a prayer of hope and gratitude. The Great Spirit rules this world.
And as you're there and you're grateful and seemingly at peace for now, you hear a voice, and it's close. Close enough that it's almost loud in your ears with as quiet as everything has been, and yet you didn't hear the owner of this voice approach. And the voice says, gratitude is always a good thing, but in short supply these days, don't you think?
Ma'am, in my travels around here, I've learned that so many people take such things for granted. Everything seems so busy to these folks. They never just seem to have time to lie down, enjoy the world. Always seem to be rushing from one thing to the next. Just don't understand it.
So, as you look now at this woman, you can see she's tall, very tall, much taller than you. And she has a severe face with dark eyes and dark hair and a tall headdress, the kind of which you've never seen before. And you certainly don't understand why someone would wear it. And she looks back to you and says, yes, it seems that slowing down and enjoying life has its uses. But is that all you want to do with yours? Just lay around trying to enjoy it?
I think it's all I can do, really. I've tried to find something in myself something that I want to do, something to feel passionate about. Something that could draw me to being someone who can benefit the world. But this is all I really think I can do. Just try to make the best of things.
What if I told you I could help you with that? I could give you a purpose, a chance to do something far, far greater than yourself. What would you say to that?
I'd say I'd like to see you try. I'd appreciate the thought, but you're wasting your time. I can't do anything.
Oh, I beg to differ. I've seen what you can do. You may try and hide who you are sometimes. You may wander around aimlessly, sometimes feeling sorry for yourself, but I know who you are and who you can be. And I'm very, very interested.
Who is that? Sorry.
No, you're fine. Freya. My name is Freya. And I'm a goddess. A goddess of a place called the Far Reaches. And war has come to my land. A war, the type of war where men find purpose and names live forever in history. The type of war I believe you were made for.
I don't know if I really care about putting my name in the history books, ma'am, but I would very much like to see if I could get something done in my life. If I could actually be something, not just a waste of space. But you said you were a goddess. Oh, what is that supposed to mean? The folks around here, their gods seem to stay up in the heavens above. I don't know what a goddess like you would be showing it before me. This.
Yes, I know it seems strange to you, but I am what I say I am. A being far more powerful than you've ever seen. Here, let me show you. And with that, she claps her hands together. And you're standing on top of a mountain. And as you look down, it is as high up, as far higher than you could ever imagine being. And you're standing here up on top of this mountain, looking down at this almost perilous drop, perched out over your feet, just balancing on the rock at the top. And yet, you feel no wind, no cold, just calm. And you take that in for a second, and again, you hear a clap. And you're back where you were. Laying there in the woods. The god is standing right in front of you.
I'd say that's a nice teleport spell, except, a feeling. I've only felt that kind of feeling once or twice before in my life. Once when I first followed this path, become a cleric, and first time I saved someone's life. Like in the woods, night. So, maybe I do believe you.
There will be plenty of time to prove who I am and how powerful I am. We could work on that. But I believe this is the opportunity of a lifetime for you. The purpose you've been searching for. Will you
That
try
case?
it?
That case, I say all right. See
And
where this
with-
goes.
And with that, she reaches into her cloak and pulls out a small golden, looks almost like shields, and they're tied together with a small golden chain. They're very little. It fits completely in her hand. And she cups one hand over the other like you've seen every corner magician in your life ever do with sleight of hand, and yet it disappears from hers and appears clipped onto the clothes on your chest. And you have gained a brooch of shielding.
Ooh.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
Say. Actually, can I follow Merinos' position, make an Arcana check? Do I know what this is?
Yeah, that's why I told you. You know exactly
Okay, sorry,
what it is. Yep.
In that case, I say. Well, what would you have me do next?
We'll talk about that in a moment. And with that, Freya snaps her fingers, and your vision goes black, and you are gone from the only world you've ever known.
That sounds familiar.
All right. It should. So, now, as we are here, let's see, activate.
Ooh.
That should. Will that move
I feel
everyone?
like we're going towards a stronghold.
I feel like that will move. Yeah, it moves, doesn't it?
Y'all can't see where it
Okay.
says stronghold in mine. It's like right behind my my name right
The
there.
music
So we
might
get
be
into the
says
action
strong.
already.
maybe a little loud,
Maybe a
so
little-
you might have to adjust. your
By the way,
volume.
do I need to off topic? Do I need to add the stuff to my inventory? Or did you already do that?
No, everything will be added at the proper time
Okay.
for you. Yep.
I added my bag of holding.
And well, two of you.
I knew there'd be a bag of holding.
No, I'm sorry, three of you. Crane, Leoric, and Kaelin. Will all have some investigating to do about the objects, about the boons they received to figure out fully what they got. Because at first glance, it might seem a little unbalanced,
Alright.
but I assure you, you'll be most pleased. So, is everyone loaded into the next map?
Mm-hmm.
Except for me.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, all of you, at in order of how we went. So, starting with Leoric and ending with Weslie, have come to consciousness, one at a time, but only a few seconds apart from each other. and you find yourself in this room, and it is exactly how it looks to you. Except around you, you see how there appears to be 2 seats that would be thrones where a king and queen might sit. And around you are these people and knights, but you can see right through them. They are very spectral looking, dull and gray. But you're in the center of this room, and as you each come to consciousness, Leoric first, and we'll go in order of how we went. Describe your character.
Wait, are we describing characters right now? Wait.
Yeah, starting with Leoric.
Masters.
Yeah, I was confused by this.
Oh, I'm sitting here talking like you guys can hear me, but I'm muted.
How's that going for you?
That's a good start. We're off to a good start.
Okay. So Leoric stands at 7 foot 10 inches tall. He has an athletic build, and his legs seem extra sturdy. Your attention is drawn to the horns on his head. Those of you that have met a Furbolg in the past may know this is a bit unusual. He has one on each temple. They both curve in unison from where they are towards the front of his head, and then just at the end, curve straight up. He has long red hair tied back to keep it out of his eyes, and a long beard that looks like it's never been cut, of the same color. He looks fairly young, but you can see much wisdom in his eyes. His face seems to hold a grudge against the world. The thick fur that covers most of his body seems to have a dirty aura surrounding it, but upon further inspection, it seems to be a living organism that has made some sort of symbiotic relationship with him. What that is remains to be seen. Around his eyes, you can see that his fur is a red gold color, but the organism covering his body makes it look more gray. He's not wearing much in the way of armor, or clothes for that matter. He wears a leather belt with a hide of some sort folded over it and surrounding his body. He does not have any shoes on, and his feet look like they could stand on broken glass with no ill effects. He holds a rusted scimitar in his left hand and what looks like a wooden door in the other. Embedded into it is a small onyx that looks to be carved into the shape that would be familiar to anyone who has been to the Sword Coast.
Okay. Next.
Was that me? I think that was me. Yep. So Kaelin is an elf, wood elf, and has brownish green skin, and stands about. Let me see how tall did I make myself? Stands about 5'7". Really bright ice blue eyes, and the first thing you notice about him is he has 2 large horns on his head that look almost like tree branches, but with different colors on them. There's purples and browns and greens, and from the top of his head, which is bald, all the way down to his waist, there are spikes coming out of out of his back and out of his skull. He has a book that he's always carrying, and a quarterstaff apparently with a brass bird on it, very intricately carved. And he just wears simple robes and some light armor.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. So, Wallashan has. Sorry, I have a thing in front of my description. He stands at 6 foot even, weighing 180 pounds. So he's somewhat fit, but still pretty lanky. He is 32 years old and has black, curly, frizzy hair that is usually not very managed. Has deep brown eyes and wears a loosely fitted garment that looks like he's had it for 20 years or so. It's definitely broken in, and looking at him you would probably think he's somewhat sloppy, but he has a sort of lankiness about him that adds to his charisma in an unexpected yet charming way. On his right side, he wields a pistol, and on his left, he has his father's sword in a handcrafted leather sleeve that he made himself, actually. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Next.
Oh, great. Here's the part where I don't necessarily have my background because I didn't get it started.
No,
Been so busy, but
just what you look like.
so I am a warmonger. I believe they're warforged, and I believe their technical height is, I forget. You told me, and now I completely forgot. I'm such a scrub.
6.5 feet.
6.5 feet. I don't wear a lot of armor because I am, of course, a barbarian, and I use a giant great axe with hand axes around for throwing purposes. I am a machine built specifically for war, and I have been in very many battles and great battles. I also have had a troubled past, and ultimately I have wandered from place to place looking for a true purpose, and hopefully I find it here. That's about it.
Okay. Next.
That was me, right?
I believe so.
Alright. Crane stands at a height of 5'10", has dirty blonde hair, and displays shifty electric blue eyes. He is clad in a dark trench coat and other attire that would seem familiar in an old western movie, including a black, wide-brimmed hat with a red stripe, a bandana around his neck, a red vest, a light blue-gray shirt, and dark blue pants. On his waist are 2 holster revolvers of beautiful design. Around his chest resides a bandolier with 6 large batteries attached to it. On the right side of his face is the burn in the shape of a handprint, in addition to minor scarring from a punch that was done by a fist with brass knuckles. That is all.
Okay. Next.
Was I next? I can't remember. I got short attention span and memory at the same time. It's really bad.
Yes.
So, Merinos is the 6 foot tall dude. He looks human because of his build, but his ears kind of denote that he's half elfish. He has bluish greenish eyes. He has a longer hair, not too long, and he is kind of damp in a way. It looks like he's been dunked in a pool or something like 3 hours ago. He right now he's wearing chainmail and a cloak that seems to be dry. Shield next to him. He is kind of built like a nacho because he's kind of really top heavy looking. He has a stronger Merinos.
I had to.
Thanks for that.
Alright, who is next?
Okay. Vix is pretty average height for a girl, maybe a little slightly taller. She's 5'7". Her hair is long and it's straight and it's black. She usually doesn't like things in her way, and so she keeps it in a braid. Her eyes are green, more on the deeper side, almost like the forest. She has really fair skin, not much color to her. She is on the slimmer side. Growing up, she wasn't able to eat much, and so the thought of too much food can sometimes turn her away. She carries a crossbow on the back of her back, and is pretty light on her feet, even though she's not that strong. She's kind of like a stick almost. And yeah, she is in her 20s. She's 22. But yet her knowledge and I think her pen writing skills can probably outweigh a lot more than you think. So yeah.
Okay. Next.
Is that me?
I believe so.
Weslie is 5'11", and he's of an average build. He's not that big, but he's not that skinny either. From what you can see, his hair is a dark brown, and his eyes are a hazelish green. They look normal. He's half elf, by the way. Forgot about that. Other than that, everywhere else you can see on his body, from hands, face, it looks as if someone had taken a grayscale photo of someone. Just very light, pale gray. Almost looks like it should be dead, but the skin is yet very fair. Dressed in a large, flowing robe of black and purple, with the purple spaced around on the arms and the back to the shape of a crescent moon. Around his neck is the holy symbol of his object of worship, and it takes the shape of a circle, 6 lines going through it, separating it into equal parts. And below that, a little chain hanging another crescent moon beneath it. I think that's about it.
Okay. So, you have all seen each other now, and you've gathered here. And for the sake of me not giving you a bunch of exposition in Freya's voice, you all are in the place called the Stronghold. Okay? The Stronghold is your base of operations, so to speak. This place is what allows you to travel through the portals. If you have not seen what the portals look like, there's a picture of one in the Discord, by the by, and you can see what the portals look like. However, it should be in the general chat.
Okay, thank you.
It'll have the far reaches above it. You'll see what a portal looks like.
It's a Stargate.
As Masters likes to call it, it's a Stargate. So there is open at this time. It is not visible to you now. The stronghold has everything you could want. It has a forge. It has a blacksmith. It has cooks for food. It has bedrooms. It has a library. It has everything. However, the stronghold is only accessible through an active portal. So we know, for the sake of brevity, what this place is. Okay? So, as you've all come to consciousness, you've seen each other now, you haven't really even had a chance to say anything to each other before Freya enters the room. And she does a quick look at all of you, seeing that you're now awake. And she says, well, good. I'm glad that you all made it across the void safely, and hopefully a little better, and for some of you, a little richer than you were when you started your trip. I hate to be blunt, but time is of the essence, and things have moved a little faster than even I could have anticipated. And so for now, I must send you somewhere. I must send you to the far reaches, to the city of Koroa. It's here that you will meet others who have helped me and will help you in the future. I hate that I don't have time to tell you any more, but I believe the situation and its severity will become quite clear as soon as you get there.
How can we contact you if we need to?
Be around, but you can reach me the same way you'd reach any god, I suppose. But I'll be sure to check in on you. Keep a close eye
just
on
say you're a god? That didn't come up in conversation.
you. Well, a goddess.
You didn't hear that?
Not in his cover.
it's
Not in
To
his
be
cover.
fair, I never
Given
asked.
I thought.
No,
No.
you never
I'm
asked.
saying in character, like you didn't even know. Like,
Well, it seems that some of you were harder to convince than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you much more stubborn than your compatriots. But like I said, everything in due time. I'm sure we'll have more time to talk, but for now, there are things that need doing.
Like,
If you will, I'll open the doors and you'll see, well, a portal is what the people call them. Just step right in.
So it's a portal. Do we just need to fill it up with dirt or something?
Oh, Leoric, how much I enjoy your simplicity. No,
I mean, I didn't
You
really
just
bring
have
my
to-
shovel with me, but I got big hands.
someone make sure to give the big boy a push when he gets there so he doesn't get lost. And with
I'll
that,
make sure to do that.
you see Freya turn into a falcon and fly out of the room.
Dadgummit, she must be a god.
The bird again.
And
Can't you do
south
that,
of you, you'll see underneath there appears to be a set of double doors. And that is the way to the portal. Are you ready to go?
I'm just looking around, seeing what everyone else does. Keeping my distance, maybe backing up a few feet.
The doors open on their own, by the way, and you can see the portal beyond.
Out of character, do we have time to go?
For this, yes. Like, out of character, it would be great if you'd step through the portal.
Oh.
No.
I guess I'll go first.
I mean, do you not have to leave in 5 minutes?
Yes, which is why I
Things
need you
out.
to
I'm the
step
only
through
one
the
that
portal.
seems to want to follow orders.
Wait, where's the portal? Click on
I
your
don't see a
token,
portal.
and then you can use your arrow keys if you want, and you can also drag if I think.
Yeah, so y'all can move
Someone,
around. For a
somebody
second.
drag my character
I
into there.
was zooming.
Okay, where are we going? Where's the portal? Where is it? Which one?
South.
It ain't this way.
Wait, okay. Where are we
I'm not sure
going?
about you, but
Someone.
we should go through the portal.
I prayed to Poseidon. Where the heck is this portal?
Okay, so
No,
this lady
y'all,
can.
yeah, y'all are just moving around. Well, for the sake of narration, because of the limitation of my map, if
can
you'd
fix
like to
that, by
step
the
through
way.
the portal, you could just step through it.
Yeah, we stepped through it.
So this lady can
Yeah,
transport us to apparently an alternate dimension, but she can't tell us where the exit is. Lame. I don't think she's a goddess. I'm still have my
Oh, wow.
hesitations.
So,
Rain
I mean, you saw her turn into a bird, right?
can do that. Aren't you a druid?
She what?
No, I can't turn into no daggone bird.
Bird.
I heard.
Huh?
I heard once the
I-
druids could do that.
I've seen.
think?
I've been in the forest many times.
Maybe
and
she'll
I've
teach
seen
me a thing or
pictures.
two, because I can't do nothing like that crap.
I've
So-
seen noises, the lot of you.
Biscuit.
Is that what I have to work with?
is everyone
Let's
loaded
get a
in?
move on.
Yep.
Unloaded.
It is.
Yep. So, you've stepped through the portal, and just with a whoosh, it pulls you through. And again, just like before when Freya snapped, your vision goes completely black. Except this time you don't fall unconscious. It's much more pleasant this time around. It seems that stepping from where you were back into this plane is a lot easier than coming back through. So you come out of the portal, and you're in this sort of town square. Rain is falling in a steady downpour, and there's a breeze that blows some small pieces of trash and leaves from a nearby green space down. There's a large statue of a man holding a sword in front of you, but that's not immediately what catches your attention. What does so is that there is a large crowd gathering sort of south and east from you around what appears to be a raised wooden platform. What do you do?
Nailed it.
You know, I think I'm just going to stay over here, because I'm not real used to being around a whole lot of people, and you guys are starting to freak me out a little bit.
I've already backed away
Well,
from the
I
group.
think I'm not going to go all the way over there, but I think I want to.
There's nothing green here. What unholy sight is this?
Yes, well,
I'm
there,
not
This,
trying to
my
get
there,
a
I
little
can
closer.
agree with you, friend.
This, my friend, is what the locals, I believe, would call society.
This is a city.
You can move your tokens freely.
Dwelling cities.
So I'll give you a
Except
second
for
to
me.
move where you want to be. Like 30 seconds.
Hide.
Let me move me closer to the crowd.
Okay?
Right next to the well.
I've moved you closer to the crowd.
Oh, there's a crowd there. Wait, never
Are
mind.
there any plants
I'm gonna go here.
nearby?
Roll a perception
Typical
check.
druid.
Wait, there shouldn't be weeds in between the cobblestone, please.
I'm looking for a local pub somewhere.
Oh god.
Already thinking of drinking.
Oh, well.
I am too distracted by the concrete
Oh,
Actually, with
or
that
marble, whatever it is.
and the you can smell some plants from inside the homes that are nearby.
Who am I next to?
All right, hold on just 1 second here.
I'm trying to.
Should I roll a check? Like, could I be able to like notice, like, how is my like perception and whatnot? Basically, just kind of just to take a gander at what's going on, without getting too close.
Mumble's busy.
Yep.
He's pleading for extra time with
Yeah.
He's pleading, give me extra time, please.
Just a few more minutes.
Oh, we started late, hun.
It's Master's fault.
Yep, Flame Masters.
I accept full responsibility.
How dare you?
It's okay. On my stream, I just pass it over to you,
I don't know whose tokens who yet.
Gabby knows what's up. And Kuya. Hi, Kuya in Monkey's chat.
I'll go over here. Who's this one over here? I don't recognize tokens yet, guys. Who's the purple token with the wizard looking thing?
That would be me.
Yeah, that would be him.
Okay.
Weslie.
Weslie Grimbaldus.
Next to Weslie for now.
Mine's the red one.
Don't anybody get too close to me. I can tell somebody tries to reach for my bags. And I have a
Merinos
hand
is-
axe waiting.
Merinos is trying to act edgy. So he's leaning up against the wall and just watching everyone.
Wait, which one was that?
Why is Gabby blaming masters in the descriptions?
Like which token?
Oh, I'm the blonde dude
Everything
that's
is
kind
your
of buff looking. That kind of looks like a
Alright.
Viking.
One looks like he's hugging a shield.
I think I found. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Alright,
Wallashan's
I'm getting
just
statue.
Leaning up against this well, wishing that there was something stronger than water in it.
Leoric smells mint.
Is it?
Vix is trying not to get too close, but close enough to try to hear what language they're speaking.
Who is on the stage? Wait a second.
It's not one of us.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I saw that character earlier. Was
I
that
did too.
Freya?
Yeah.
It looks like Freya.
No,
Says-
okay.
Yeah, that's Vix. No, never mind. Sorry.
Now
Wow.
Wallashan's just standing on the edge of the well, thinking about jumping in, but
Okay.
Oh, if you highlight a token, it
Aren't
will
we all?
have the
Is
border of the
everyone-
color.
Is everyone where they
Same
want to be?
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to
On the
move a
well,
little
yes.
closer to the crowd, please.
Okay. I got you.
I
So-
know it doesn't do that actually. Never mind.
Kaelin are watching from behind the column.
Those of you who are close,
Everybody's watching behind.
as you begin to approach, you see this large crowd. There's probably, I don't know, 50 or 60 people here. And there's people walking by, coming and going, looking like they're going about their normal business. As you look at the raised platform now, you see a man standing on the left of it as you face it. He is in a full suit of armor, full plate, bald head, and a large sword. And he's standing next to a thin, very young looking man who is in tattered clothes. His face is bruised, bloodied. It looks like he's taken quite the beating. And as you look at where he is, you can see on the front of the platform here and a little bit around the side, you see blood. Lots of blood. And it begins to dawn on you that an execution is about to take place. And you hear the man begin to read off the young man's crimes crimes against the Empire, against the Emperor, conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to overthrow an official, theft of in an amount over 200 gold pieces. And he begins to read and drone, and there are boos and jeers from the crowd gathered as he does, but
Do
the
they
man
seem to
standing
be?
there,
They seem to be booing the man reading or booing
The
the
man
person
reading.
accused.
the man reading.
Okay.
As he reads, they boo and jeer. The young man says nothing. He stands completely motionless. There's a... Let's see. Who's closest? Yeah,
I
I'd say
don't know.
from
We
there,
all
you
seem to
can-
be closest.
You can just make out, those of you who are closest, that though he is standing still, his
How do you-
legs have begun to tremble as he realizes he's probably coming up pretty close to the end. And as the executioner begins to finish, you start to see from the sides where the stairs are and from the buildings what looks to be cloaked figures in all black begin to slink almost from out of nowhere and slip into the crowd. The executioner has finished his speech and puts the boy to his knees, puts his head onto the block, and unsheaths his sword. And that is where we're going to pick up on next week.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well
I
done.
like this. Oh,
Dun.
Masters.
Time
now
to
we should
roll
do is
initiative.
let Eric respond
Yeah, time to roll initiative, guys. Let's do it now.
Hold on, I've got a
Right
class
now.
feature. Who wants your initiative? Free initiative here. Advantage on initiative, I got that.
Okay.
I didn't make a single roll.
So, what'd y'all think of session one?
I loved it.
I
Thank
think
you.
my
Outside
improv
of the
could have been
delay,
better.
pretty good.
Thank you for all of the work that you put into it, Mumbles.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Seems like a lot.
Are
I
we
think
doing highs and lows kind of a thing?
we will do that at the beginning of our next session because I have hit my time wall. But I wanted to get,
Alright.
if possible, I would love to get to this point. So we will pick up next week before our session, and whoever's here a little bit early, we can do highs and lows. So make some notes if you got anything to say. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
But thank y'all for being here.
Thank you,
I
Mumbles.
appreciate everybody who was here on time because all of y'all were. I was the one who ran late today.
No,
and
you
I
were here on
appreciate
time. You
y'all's-
can't blame yourself for technical issues.
And I appreciate y'all's patience with that and your diligence. And I hope that you enjoyed finally getting to know how this merry band first got brought together. So I can't thank y'all enough. I'm very excited.
Thank you, Mumbles.
Dude, thank you, Mumbles.
Thank you,
Good night,
Mumbles.
Mumbles.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, next week, if possible, if everyone can just let me know, I would love to start at 6:30 if possible. If that does not jive with everyone's schedule and we have to stick to our 7 o'clock start time, let's do that. And if you're here early, we'll do highs and lows from the previous session. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. If anything comes up in the middle of the week, feel free to message me. Y'all know I'm available. And I can steal this now. Is it Friday yet?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
Actually, it's almost Saturday.
Oh, it's still Friday here.
But I will see y'all next week.
Alright.
Yep.
See you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks for playing.
I can't wait another week. It's not possible.
I don't,
Yeah, I
I
know,
don't
right?
like the
You left us
cliffhangers,
on
like,
such a
it was just
cliffhanger. I'm
good.
wanting to
Yeah,
start fighting.
cliffhanger.
Your character, my character, it's looking at this, grabbing a hand axe, going, "I want to throw." No, I'm not going
We
to.
barely got a chance to talk to one another.
I
Oh,
know.
Oh,
I'm just like
When we get to the
I'm
fighting,
just
Just thinking.
sitting here in a whale waiting on somebody to. I don't know.
I'm a
In the
warforged.
whale.
I get to the
All right.
fight.
I'll be
You
right
guys
back.
know about me was my milky alabaster skin.
Thank you guys for being patient with me.
Oh,
It was my
God.
first game today. My first.
Okay. All right. My deafen Discord button was not working. That's a thing. But thank you all for being here. I hope you had a good time. Oh, I gotta update that guy right there. To put the staff in that image too. I literally, when he gave me the staff, the quarterstaff, I was updating it on Hero Forge and then on here. But thank you guys for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. I hope it was fun. This was a ton of fun. Super kind of a weird intro session where it was all just sort of mini one-on-ones. And if you guys weren't here at the beginning, there was a discussion about whether Mumbles would just move us all into a one-on-one individually, and we wouldn't hear everybody else. And I'm glad we did it this way, as if we were all sitting at the table together, even if we now don't know all of the things that we just learned. But that's okay. So I had a blast. This was super, super fun. I can't wait until next week. Let's talk about schedule. So I am not going to be streaming Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to be doing a bunch of work, hopefully to finish moving all of my slobs scenes over to OBS so that I can actually start using OBS for more than just Dungeons and Dragons. I'm using OBS for this and for Tuesday nights with Masters. We're doing the Far Reaches. Nope, let me try that again. That was tonight. We're doing the Horde of the Dragon Queen. It's a more scripted kind of D&D. Not scripted. That's not the right word. It's a pre-written module, and that's with Masters and Gavi and Alpha of all Foxies and other people, Mumbles, and a couple IRLs that you guys don't know. Why switch instead of slobs? So I don't use anything from Streamlabs at all. The only reason I switched to Streamlabs is because they got FTL first. And so when I was on Mixer, I switched to Streamlabs OBS so that I could get FTL support earlier. And now it's just kind of big and bloated and sits on my computer and uses up more resources than I need. And there's some cool stuff I can do with OBS that I can't do with slobs because it's not as compatible with plugins. So that's the plan. But thanks everybody for hanging out. I will be back Monday morning. Yeah, Monday morning at 3:30 a.m. No, hold on, that's not true anymore. 8, 7, 6, 5. 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern, noon GMT for about 4 hours or so. And then Tuesday will be on in the afternoons again, and then Tuesday night for more D&D. What? It's great. It's great. Not 3:30 a.m. That's when I started at 6:30. That was 3:30 a.m. Yeah, Pacific. But thanks everybody for hanging out. I don't really have a good outro, so I'm just gonna put up a starting soon and fade out from there. Bye. That's a good point. We should totally raid someone. I have a rule about always raiding. And I think today, actually, we're going to raid... I haven't gotten to raid this particular gentleman in forever. So let's raid Terhenning. Raid... No, that's Raid Do, not Raid Go. Raid Go. Jerhenning. I think this will work. That command should work, right? Yeah, there we go. Don't forget /me in the chat for the raid call, if you guys will. I need to set all this up. This doesn't exist right now. Boop de boop de boop de boo. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday. I'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.